Orthotics. Should I use one? Should I not use one? Are they good? Are they bad? And the frustrating answer, as with most things, is that it depends. And it depends because we have to think about how orthotics actually function with how we move. Many people think of orthotics as something that's going to push your foot one way or the other into a given position. So if you have a flat foot and maybe the arch is sort of smushed onto the ground, we think, well, we need to have an orthotic that's going to boost that arch up and give us more of an arch, almost looking at it from like a structural, almost like an engineering standpoint. Where if we have a high arch and maybe we're weight bearing on the lateral aspect of our foot a great deal, well, maybe we need an orthotic that's going to push up on the lateral aspect of the foot and allow us to find our arch a little more on the ground or push us onto the inside of our foot because we're so displaced the other way. And in some cases, thought processes like that can work. However, it's missing a big piece of the puzzle. The problem with the engineering thought process with how our bodies function are that we're not a building, we're not a car, we're not this machine or structure. The human body is constantly responding to feedback from the environment around us. So let's take walking as an example. When we walk around, the weight and where it is in the bottom of our foot is constantly changing, and your body will constantly be adjusting up the chain. So if, for example, we start to deviate really, really far one way and your body feels that on the bottom of the feet, it will respond accordingly so that you don't fall over. So in regards to somebody with a really high arch, such as myself, we don't feel much of the ground with our arches because they're so highly lifted. And to our brains are like, whoa, all my weight are on the outside of my feet. I'm not that secure on the ground because I feel less of it. So I need to get more rigid up the chain to give me some more stability and security because I'm not as firm on the floor as I perhaps want to be. In that instance, somebody like myself may benefit from having a little bit of an arch built up so that then I have something to press down into the ground and find and feel. Because then if my brain and my nervous systems can feel my arches on the ground, feels a little more secure, maybe it can let go a bit. And also when I'm able to function, I'm then going to be able to move slightly differently. If I can feel my arch, I'm going to be able to cut a little bit better, which requires me to feel my arch. I'm going to be able to push from the mid stance of walking onto my toe a little bit more effectively because I have to be able to find my arch to be able to do that. On the flip side, if you're somebody with a very flattened arch, well, in that case, a lot of your body weight is sort of smushed onto the inside of your foot. So perhaps in that case, we do need to build up the inside of that arch a little bit to push some more weight onto the outside and allow us to be a little more balanced with the way we move so we don't have to compensate up the chain in many different ways. And we can't really go through every single way that the body can compensate in this video because really it is endless and every person is a little different. And we may or may not need an orthotic to help us with some of these issues. In many instances, the right shoe can really make a big impact. So for somebody who has a really, really flat foot, maybe they need a little bit more of that support to get them to be able to have a little bit more of that arch, feel a little bit more weight on the center to outside of their feet than they may otherwise. If you're somebody like me with that high arch, perhaps we need just a small little bit of an arch built up just so that when we're standing, we can find that arch, have something to press down and feel, but not so much of an arch that we're being pushed on to the outside of our foot. These are conversations we have with so many patients that we work with, and every conversation is different because every person is different. It's not just high arches and flat arches. Everybody's structure from the feet on up are totally different. So if you're looking for unique answers regarding do you need orthotics, do you not need orthotics, what's the right shoe for you, or anything else in between, contact us. We'd love to be able to help.